Celeste Linthicum. My business is I'm a residential realtor. I live in Leesburg, so I do focus on Loudoun County a lot. But I'm licensed in Virginia, and I, service most of Northern Virginia.
Beautiful. I
Yeah,
love that. So you're keeping it in the neighborhood
yeah,
here. And then you've had a diverse career from IT, photography to real estate.
yeah.
What inspired each transition and how have these experiences shaped your approach as a realtor?
Yeah. So I started off out of college. I was a computer programmer.
Nice.
And then I got pregnant with our daughter. And I was a stay-home mom for a number of years, which by far was probably the best career right there. And then I ended up I've always had an interest in photography, and my daughter played basketball, and I was always photographing her playing basketball. And then that kind of evolved into a photography career. And I focused mostly on high school senior portraits
Okay.
and sports. And also, I volunteered with the Fairfax County Animal Shelter, and I was
Oh,
a photographer for them for about 5 years, trying to help the
wow.
dogs get adopted.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends and I, we were getting petties one day. And my friend, who was a realtor, encouraged me to get my real estate license. And I had never, ever thought of that in my whole life. And I thought, wow, what? And I thought about it, talked about it with my husband, and decided I'll try it for a year, see if I like it. And I'm still doing it. So I
Yeah.
guess I like it.
Yeah, you must, because hello, you're still here.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was the transition like with each career? Did you have like a coach, a mentor? Were there some hurdles? Talk to me about that.
Um, no, no coach. Well, just my husband. But,
Okay. Is he a
my
real
husband,
estate agent?
no, he's
Oh,
not in real estate, but, he's always been very encouraging for whatever I want to do. And
cool.
he knows me and he knows what I would be good at.
Yeah.
So I think that, in fact, he actually encouraged me to get my license years ago, so that we could buy properties and get them a little cheaper.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. But the transition was, it's just becoming a realtor. It's very different. Well, I had to buy a lot of clothes. Um,
Yes, got to have that wardrobe.
that's right. So, and there's really a lot of startup costs, with marketing and getting all your things that you need, and so there's a considerable cost when you get started. So, but that was fine. I knew it was going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Um, and when I transitioned from stay-home mom to photography, that was just kind of following my passion,
Yeah.
that kind of a change. So, they were all, very different changes, but made sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And do you still dip into
Dabble.
photography? Yeah, dabble.
I don't have much time. I
Booked and
don't.
busy.
Yeah, I've actually been selling a lot of my equipment because I, had a lot. You know
Yeah.
how it is.
Yes, I do. Okay, well,
So
that's cool. Thank
yeah,
you for sharing that.
but I still have my main stuff.
Your
But
main.
yeah, I mean, I mostly photograph I have 3 golden retrievers, and I mostly am photographing them.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And then managing a multi-property vacation rental business for over a decade is impressive. What are some key lessons you've learned from this venture?
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is that it's much easier to have a business like that when the properties are nearby. They're at least within 20 miles of where you live.
Oh yeah.
The properties that we have are a considerable distance away, and it makes it hard. Like, for example, say get one of my properties painted.
Hmm.
Well, I can't, how you want to check everything before you write the
Yes.
check.
Hmm.
So I have to rely on somebody else that I trust. But, nobody's going to look at things like you do.
You do.
So,
Yep.
right. So you write the check and it's kind of sight unseen, but somebody looked at it for you. So that's what I mean by that. It's just a lot easier if you have properties nearby.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For sure. And what are some marketing strategies that you're using right now and implementing in your business to
In
get
my
the word out?
business,
Yeah.
well, the biggest strategy that I'm using right now is I started a YouTube channel,
Nice.
and yeah, so I'm focused on people that are relocating here to the Washington, D.C. area. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. I've been learning a lot. And, it's been, I just started up, so it really hasn't taken
Yeah,
off
taking off
yet.
yet, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been great. So yeah, I'm just focusing on if somebody's sitting in Seattle and they find out that they have to go live, in the Washington D.C. area. A lot of people go on YouTube and
Yes, they
say,
do.
yeah, and say, what's it like living in Northern Virginia? And my videos will come up, and I do a lot of vlog style
Perfect.
tours, pros and cons, 5 reasons why you'll love this area, those kind of videos.
Be like a great resource for them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is your YouTube called, just in case anyone's listening and they want to check it
Oh,
out?
yeah. It's called Living in Washington, D.C.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's on YouTube, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment her for
Yeah.
Celeste. We
Yeah.
would love
I love
that.
comments.
Yes.
Mhm.
Beautiful. And then let's see. You've actively involved in community service, from photographing shelter animals, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
to therapy dog visits with Eddie.
Yes.
How do these activities influence your personal and professional life?
I think, it affects my personal life just because it's one of those things that I, it, I, the whole reason the whole reason Eddie and I trained to be a therapy dog team was I had a personal experience with like my own parents. Being in the hospital they've since passed, but being
I'm
in the
sorry.
hospital, thank you. Being in the hospital and, sitting there waiting for something, you're in there for hours and hours and you're worried and, are they going to pass? Are they not? Are they going to come out of this okay?
Yeah.
And while there, I always thought, man, I wish a dog was here with me. It would just be it would get my mind off of it. And so that's the whole reason why I started doing it, because I wanted to visit hospitals and visit families that are going through similar situations. Just to, get their mind off of their loved one for 5 or 10 minutes, just get a mental break.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I started doing it, because I thought, man, I really wish somebody had done that for me, and I want to do that for them.
Yeah.
So we have visited hospitals. We also have visited, memory care units with people with Alzheimer's, dementia. We also go to the public library and read with kids. It's called Pause to Read. And that's really awesome. That's a great program if you have a child that isn't a fan of reading. They love reading to a dog.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know, it's just fun to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Making an impact, exactly. And the fact that you felt that way during your hardships with your parents in the hospital, and you're like, you know what, there's like a gap here that could be filled.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel the way I felt, and let me just
Exactly.
offer my buddy Eddie over here.
That's right.
And is Eddie the only one, or are the other ones trained?
Eddie's the only. It's Eddie, Boomer, and Gracie.
Her 3 golden.
Yes, and Eddie's the oldest, and it takes a lot to do this, to train with your dog. You have to take a written test. You have to go to classes. It's a kind of a big deal. So I just don't have time to do the other.
Got it. Yeah, I know. Girl, you're busy. Kudos to Eddie for getting it done, though.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
And then as a mother, entrepreneur, and volunteer, how do you manage to balance these roles effectively? Any tips?
My husband's a big help.
Shout out, husband.
Yeah, he's a huge help. My husband Dave, he we trade off on making dinner at night and that kind of thing. So he's a huge help. And I think it's just because he understands how it is to be so busy and you don't have time for things. So he's, willing to help out. But I think just being organized with your schedule, that really helps. Our daughter lives nearby. She lives like 5 minutes from us. And so we do get to see her a lot. We're empty nesters, so I don't have little ones at home. I think it would be, though, for those realtors that have little kids at home, I don't know how they do it.
Mm-hmm, right?
I don't know how they do it, but they do.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. So, and as far as being able to volunteer and stuff, I just plan it out really far in advance. That's the way to get it done.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then In your opinion, what are some 3 elements that you think realtors should have in order to provide a great service for their clients?
I think that number one, they really need to be techie. There's
That's a big one right
it's a
there.
huge one. It really is. In the real estate world, there's so many things that you need to know. Not only just like writing a contract and emailing your clients and things like that, but I mean, like with my YouTube channel, I have my GoPro and I'm you know editing. I'm editing my videos. Even for my social media, I'm editing my videos. And I think there's a lot of people that may not know how to do that. And
Yes.
yeah, and gosh, there's just so many apps that you can use. There's a whole world of things,
Yes.
tools for realtors to use. And you really need to be techie to understand
Yep.
how to do that. I think secondly, you really need to have a very outgoing personality. I think that people want to feel comfortable with you and feel you kind of become their friend.
Yeah.
Very very close friends at the time when you're helping them with buying or selling. But I tend to I stay in contact with my clients even after the transaction. But I think that if you have a warm, welcoming, outgoing personality, that really helps you as a realtor.
Yep.
You can't be shy about
No.
approaching them first.
Mhm.
So I think that's very very important.
Yes.
And then I think thirdly, at least for me, just having a little bit of a competitive edge to you.
Yes.
Not super crazy
Like
competitive.
cutthroat?
No,
Yeah.
not
No,
like
not
that.
that.
No, but I think that, just something that's what motivates me. So it's the competitiveness, and it's not so much about the money, it's about all the different things that there are to use to to try to get leads or to try to sell a house. There's so many different avenues to use to get those things done. And it's very interesting to me to figure out which ways to go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, those are some great ones. I want to go back to the first one with tech, just because I want to pick your brain a little bit more. And I'm wondering if maybe your background in photography helps play a role in
Oh
this. But
yes. Mhm.
not only do you understand the importance of video and having an online presence and technology, but how did you get to the point where you are right now where you're just like, I got to do this? Like you're editing, you know about the apps. A lot of business owners don't even know, or they're just like, I'll pay someone to do it eventually, or
Right.
I'll get to it. But you are like on it. What
Yeah.
what made you say like, okay, I gotta figure this out. I gotta let me take a shot at editing this. Like, how
Mhm.
did you get that mindset?
I've always been that way.
Mm,
I mean, when I got out of college, I was a computer programmer. Then like I said, I had a break and I was a stay-home mom. But my husband's he's in the tech world, um, and that's just how we are, and that's how I am. I've always been that way. I think it's cool that there's things on our phones that can make things, processes go a lot
oh
faster.
yes.
So I've just always been that way, and I'm always interested in it. How's this going to make my life easier? And then now with AI, oh man, I mean, and if I don't understand something, I just YouTube it and just go watch a video about how to do it. And I spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
But I guess I see the real benefit of it, of all these tools that are available. And it's like making my presentations look better, making not something printed out from the MLS that looks kind of cheesy. Like everything's
Or
polished. And
stale.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
right?
yeah, exactly. And so it's all about my image. My image is to be provide information and things look really good and
Yes.
professional. So I think that's a big motivator.
Yeah, for sure. And being unique but true to yourself.
Yeah.
True. Because you kind of want to like stand out too, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you have to try to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I think that's awesome what you're doing.
Oh, thank
Don't
you.
stop, girl. Keep going.
Thank you.
And now, this is a fun fact, guys. You guys don't know, so maybe we should ask her about it. The powerlifting achievements. Breaking women's powerlifting records is remarkable. How did you get into powerlifting and what drove you in this sport? Wow.
Do you know I had a personal trainer, and we would work out, and he was into to powerlifting, and he would, we chit chat and talk about it. And again, it's that competition aspect of it, and I thought, well, I want to do that,
Yeah.
and I was like, I bet there aren't too many women my age doing it. And I've always felt like I was kind of strong. So, and I could see my numbers going up. I was lifting more, lifting more.
That's so badass.
Right. So I thought, I want to try that. So I joined a powerlifting team in Tyson's, and I would go and work out with them, and we would, work out together. It was once or twice a week. And then we would, our coach would find meets that were, in the area in Virginia. And we would start focusing on that certain meet and, train. And so I went to a meet. I think it was down in Virginia Beach. And so the record that I broke was for strict curl. And what strict curl is
I was going to ask.
yes. So when you curl, you're just, you have a bar with weights, and you're going like this. So strict curl is you lean your back up against a wall, and you have to keep your shoulders, everything straight on that wall.
Oof.
And you're lifting it this way. So that way you're not using your body to get it up.
To help
it's
you.
just all arms. So that's why it's
Dang.
called strict curl. So I did that, and I broke the record.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you break this record?
It was like 3 years ago, I think.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Guys, she'll beat you in a fight, so don't try it. I'm just kidding. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Again, that just makes me think, like, how do you find time? I know you're busy. You're like, I don't delve into photography anymore because I'm busy. But, like, the fact that you're still always finding time, even being a business owner, entrepreneur, you're still finding those times to be yourself, find yourself, center yourself, and find things that make you happy.
Yeah.
That you can reset. Like, just even doing the therapy. Can you give maybe other entrepreneurs, like, any tips on how to possibly balance it, or how to find time when you want to do something?
You know that saying, pick one thing and do it well. I think that's very true with, if you're going to have your professional life and your family life, those are always a given. But then if you want to have something else, just pick one thing and do it well and break a record.
I don't know about the strict curl one, but I'll find a record to break somewhere else.
Yeah. I think that, that just pick something, and then, see if you like it. And then once you're done with that, pick something else, but don't try to do too much.
Yeah, no, that's good. Because a lot of people try to juggle a lot of things. Like, I'm going to do this, just so I can have my me time. But it's like,
right.
You're not focusing on something, like giving your time, and you have minimal time. So just try to focus on that one thing, baby steps.
Yeah.
Once you master that, maybe we'll go into the next thing.
Right. And try to think about what it is, why do you want to do this other thing? Is it because you want to give back? Is it because you want to do something competitive, so you can have that win feeling? Is it, what's it about, and just kind of narrow it down why you want to do
the purpose,
not just because it's popular or something, just think, what is it? What need do I have that I need to fulfill?
That's such good advice. Because a lot of times we don't think about that. We're just like, oh, everyone's doing that. I'm going to try pickleball too. But it's just like, do you even want to do that? Or is it just because everybody else is
it because your friend's doing it too?
Like,
yeah.
Come on now. No, that's such good advice. Oftentimes I fall under that trap sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's doing that. And I'm just like, I don't like this. Like, I don't like being outdoors. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, that's great tips.
Yeah.
I want to ask, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years as a person and with your business?
Gosh, I don't really know as a person. I just I hope it's all still the same. I hope I'm healthy. I hope that, I hope that more things don't hurt on my body.
Oh, no, please, no pain, no pain.
No, I mean, as you get older, things hurt. I just hope that I stay the same, and I'm just healthy and happy, and, spending a lot of time with my family. That's really important to me. And professionally, I hope that I've reached, more and more goals that I've set for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it, and I really hope my YouTube channel is paying off.
Me too. I think it will. And plus, you
Yeah.
just got to be consistent with it.
Right.
And hopefully people will resonate with it, especially nationwide who are looking to come here.
Right.
Or maybe even people who just are in the neighborhood and they're thinking about
Yeah.
maybe coming to another part.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Exactly. That's what it's aimed to.
Exactly.
Is the relocators and the people around here.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you, girl.
Thank
And
you.
then you have so many passions. This is why I ask you that, and you're going to laugh, but let's talk about your motorcycling passion. Yeah, you see, she's like, find one thing you're good at and just go. And it's just like she's good at 10 things. So, riding a motorcycle is often seen as adventurous. How did you get into motorcycling, and do you find parallels between this hobby and your professional life?
No.
Hey, I love the honesty.
I don't think I do, but
living life on the edge, being a real estate and
yeah.
motorcycle riding. No, I'm just kidding.
Motorcycle riding, when I was a kid, I used to ride dirt bikes with the kids in the neighborhood.
Okay, you've always been a badass. Let me just say that.
Well, I never owned a dirt bike. My parents wouldn't give me one, but I would, ride my friends, and I thought that was super fun. And, then fast forward, my husband had a motorcycle, and, I thought, well, maybe I'll get my motorcycle license so we can ride together. And, why not? So I did. And I went and got my motorcycle license. This was probably about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I did it over at Nova in the parking lot. I'm sure a lot of your viewers have seen people doing that. Yeah. And it was me with about 6 other 20-something-year-old boys.
I love that. I love this image in my head.
It was kind of
now.
funny. Yeah. So it was just me with the guys. And so I got my license. And it's really fun, like especially like right now, the weather's great.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in an area we live in Leesburg, and I'm on the back roads. I don't like to go. I would never go on 66. I would never go on 495. I barely like to go on Route 7. But I just go around Loudoun County, go past wineries, just ride around. It's really fun. It's so fun.
Especially as like the seasons change, seeing the leaves or all the green or when I'm excited for you because
it's very fun.
Look at the weather. It's getting so nice.
Yeah. And then, my husband and I will ride. We live in Leesburg, and we will ride up to Percival, go to dinner, ride home, or go to somewhere in town. It's just fun.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy you're getting to do like all these things you love. Sometimes I know I work out with 9 to 5, but sometimes I'm like, I don't have the energy. I'm just going to watch TV. But the fact that you're like, let's go out and do stuff. Like, I need to be more like this.
Yeah.
Goodness. It's just, there's not enough hours in a day. And sometimes it's excuses on my end.
Right.
I'm not going to lie.
But all these things that, I did pick one thing and, felt like I did it well, but then you move on to something else, but you still have that other thing that you can.
If you want to go back to it or relive it.
Right.
I love it. And now the home buying process can be stressful. How do you support clients emotionally and practically to ensure a smooth experience?
I think one thing that I'm really, really good at is communicating with my clients. I am one of those that when they text me, I text them back immediately or within 5 minutes, or call them or whatever. And I think that really eases a lot of their stress.
Yes.
I think it helps them tremendously. And also through like the home buying process or selling, I'm emailing at least weekly, and telling them everything that's happening. Here's what we've already done. Here's what's coming up. Here's important dates. Here's how the Instagram reel is going. It got this many views. Here's how the YouTube ad is going. It got thousands of views. Here's when the open house is. Here's what I'm going to do at the open house. I just really communicate with them and tell them and even if there wasn't anything going on, I can at least update them on all the socials and all the numbers, and just tell them, hey, we haven't had a lot of interest this week, but here's what I'm doing to try to find buyers for you. So I think that that's one thing that really sets me it's another thing that sets me apart is that I am really good at communicating with people and letting them know what's going on.
That's so important. And the fact that you are keeping them in the know with everything, I'm sure
Right.
they appreciate that. They're like, how did she know? That's literally what I was asking. I didn't know who to ask. And
Right.
like, duh, like,
Yeah. Right.
this is perfect. And then that way that you can engage in a new conversation about that
Right.
topic and you can just go
Yeah,
from there.
exactly. Yeah, I really don't want a client to have to text me or email me or call me and say, "Hey, what's going on?" I would I would feel like, that was kind of a failure on my
Oh my
end. I
gosh.
really want to answer all their questions before they even have to ask.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's top notch right there. It really is.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then, given your extensive experience in Leesburg and Loudoun County, what trends are you currently observing in the local real estate market?
Well, it's definitely a seller's market right now. A lot of people are sitting on a lot of equity on in their homes because real estate just always it's the best investment, and your property values just go up, up, up. So I'm seeing, it's a seller's market, and there's not a ton of people listing their homes. That's not. I'm not saying we have this. There's no homes for sale. It's not like that.
That
It's just
inventory.
yeah. So when there is a property, and especially if it's a really good one, there's going to be multiple offers. There's going to be the price is probably going to escalate, and people are going to, get rid of contingencies and say like no home inspection or no no whatever,
Yeah.
so that their offers can be more competitive.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I have not touched on that perhaps you would like to share about yourself, your business, your industry? You have the floor.
Oh gosh. As for myself, I really take my job very seriously. And that saying of treat others the way you want to be treated, that's
Yep.
exactly how I feel. That's the reason why I communicate with everybody so much. That's the reason why I want to, be out on all the socials and do, to try to sell someone's home and to go down all those avenues because that's what I would want somebody to do for me.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm doing everything that I would want people to do for me.
Yeah.
So that's really the biggest driver for me, and that really inspires me in my business and how I run my business.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you here on the podcast.
It's been
and
great being with you.
Yay, I love it. And
Yeah.
make sure you pet your little 3 buddies for me. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Sure, you're welcome.